Alphonso on Gasom. After a series of intense meetings with Sierra and Pascal, I decided to take some much-needed time to recharge. I checked in with Lucien and Peter back at the capital. They were working hard to unite democratically leaning reformers for the crucial task of drafting a new constitution. Meanwhile, Gus Manager has invited me to visit the Gasom headquarters in Norbel. It was situated in Ornebel, a neighborhood on the city's outskirts. Next to it was the Demini Gas Reserve, a prominent natural gas source consisting of 4 large fields. As our motorcade made its way through the Ornebel district, I noted the neighborhood's state of disrepair. The roads were bumpy, marked with potholes, while the buildings surrounding us appeared run down and dilapidated. The community had apparently endured a prolonged period of neglect. We came to a halt at the entrance gates of the facility. A sizable mural depicting the Gasom logo had been painted on the nearby wall. Adjacent to the mural, a group of individuals wearing blue work vests has assembled, holding what looked like protest signs. Sergei skillfully parked the car, bringing our journey to a smooth and elegant conclusion. Gus greeted us warmly as we stepped out of the vehicle. Good day, President Rayne. Welcome to Gasom Norbel Operations. And you are, Minister of Rural Development. I trust Ministers Walda and Beniwal didn't overwhelm you with their demands. Good to see you, Gus. Yeah, we don't need to talk about our previous meeting. Now it's like too dark. There we go. Okay, it's good to see you, Gus. I wanted to talk to you about what we can do here for development. Perfect. That's exactly what I hope to accomplish during today's discussion. My job is to improve the conditions of places like this. Mr. President, I've been brainstorming a little something. The Gruning Regional Investment Plan, I reckon that it's got potential to breathe new life into our rural communities out here in Gruning. We could consider a few things. For starters, we could give the farming businesses a boost with some subsidies, or we could steer towards modernization of existing farms with machinery and tech. Or, here's another thought, we could pour resources in developing crop breed Taylor, made for Gruning conditions. If it works out, we could roll this all across Sordland. He kept talking as he guided me into the Gasom building. Mr. President, I see the appeal of the Green Bill that's been making the rounds in the Assembly, but I'm telling you, if we put the brakes on that and funnel those funds into the Gruning plan instead, we could make some real strides without spooking any potential investors. Let's see. That's a tough call, Gus. I need to weigh the environmental implications and the economic benefits. That's all I'm asking for, Mr. President. Just give this plan a fair shake. Our talks were interrupted by a noise coming from outside the building. We look out the nearest window. A sleek helicopter was cutting through the sky, sunlight glinting off its polished surface as it descended towards us. On it was our next appointment, Ewald Alphonso. Knows how to make an entrance. The kind of display plays well to investors, but terribly for farmers watching on state TV. Exactly. The optics matter. We just have to decide who we're trying to impress. Spectacle aside, before we sit down with him, there's one more assembly matter that I want to raise. This workers' rights bill. Look, I'm all for giving hardworking folks what they deserve, but isn't it a bit hasty to push this while we're still stuck in a recession? The way I see it, the short-term wins might end up costing us big in the long run. Okay. Let's see, what do we have? You know what? We're going to talk about the common man. You know, I heard from a worker in Estord on the radio. He said that he's got rights on paper, but he's got nothing in his fridge. Kind of thing sticks with you. Still, got to make sure the fixes don't break something bigger. The overlord business right now, they'll shrink and shut down. You know, strong labor protections are a foundation of lasting growth. A secure worker is a productive one. Fair enough. Let's roll it out in stages. Rushing it could backfire. Please come this way. Ewald and I have some exciting news to share with you. I have faith that you will not leave us hanging. I got a little hair on my glasses. Oh god, there's so many options. Discussion, we were living near the highway. Let's see. You said to prove that you made returns on your deals. You know what? I have not heard from Ewald since the inauguration. He really pulled back from public life. I think it's just fully focused on Gasom these days. His entire reputation is bound to this corporation now. Admittedly, I am biased, but I do think that Gasom is extraordinary. If he needs to be hands-on as chairman, the business might not be doing well. You know, we worked closely in the past on friendly terms. I'm open to see what we can do. As you know, he and I go back a long time. He isn't the sellout some soulless painted him to be. Shall we? He pushed open a door, and we walked down yet another hallway, seemingly in the direction we just come from. It's like a maze, isn't it? That's a Quinali architecture for you. Okay, what is Quinali? Probably Quinali, commonly known as Quinwall, is a strategically situated country. Then a peninsula. By the way, sweet flight. Is this like the... Is that like a Tangri symbol? Okay, anyway, get me out of here. The hallways were lined with doors. Glass panels in them revealed workers in suits and ties, many of foreign origin, but busy in their pristine offices. A stark contrast to the blue collar workers outside working in machinery, transportation, and maintenance. Feels like very on-hand deck. The whole complex feels like it's very hands-on deck. I can tell an intricate operation when I see one. It took decades for Ewald and for the workers, of course, to create an enterprise of such global competitive potential. Here's the elevator. Ewald ought to be up here already. There's a separate entrance by the helipad. We stepped into the elevator, and Gus punched a code and began our ascent. Just remember, Alphonso's our friend. We've got the foundation for a great deal. The door's open. Here he is, Ewald, my friend. Ewald Alphonso stood up from his chair. He had on a perfectly tailored suit that he wore as casually as pajamas. Gus, you old devil. It takes one to know one. As promised, I brought our guest of honor, President Rayne. I hope you are enjoying seeing our facilities here. Greetings. President, you know, I'll be courteous to him too. President Alphonso, it's nice to see what you have built from the inside. It's fine. I mean, it's nothing compared to Gasom HQ in Holsword, of course. Still, one of our standouts in the Maroon District. Please, have a seat. Let's talk. We sat down. Some snacks and drinks were served. Multiple Gasom year financial reports were scattered on the table between us. It's been a while, Mr. Rayne. Let's catch you up on some activities since I left office. I ventured to Zinnia, immersing myself in its vibrant culture, then traveled to the captivating landscapes of the Arakan Peninsula, and finally reunited with my old acquaintance in Kyiv. Along the way, I had the privilege of encountering remarkable individuals who have made significant contributions to their respective fields. My experience prompted a deep reflection on the essence of life. I came out of it with two words resonating in my head: reputation, legacy. Two pillars embody the lasting impacts we leave behind in a way that we are remembered by others. With a cup of coffee in hand, he strolled over to the window, his gaze drawn to the expansive fields stretching before him. Towering mountains provided a majestic backdrop. Okay. Focus on reputation and legacy is rooted in capitalist framework. Our image and perception are a key force. Cannot be so burdensome. Go with this one. He gazed out for a moment longer as he contemplated what I'd said and turned back to us. I've been thinking about my own legacy and reputation, and I refuse to be remembered as a failed reformer. I put so many years of my life into this corporation, and then I left it all behind and devoted myself to serving the people of Sordland. And serve you did. Sordland would be much off without you. You know what? I cannot help but empathize with individuals who invest their utmost dedication and passion to their work. Very much appreciated. I am well aware of the challenges you yourself have faced. I commend you for navigating those obstacles without causing harm to others. But I'm concerned about the future of what I have built up. The latest figures show that Gasom will have either decreased staff or operations by 40% in a year, or take on a crushing amount of debt. This is why we decided to reach out to foreign investors. Okay, foreign investors can be double-edged sword. I'm concerned about relying too heavily on foreign investors. I mean, the Axis, like, can they even buy them? Because don't they already have more than 20%? You know, we'll just pull up the Rizia issue now. The Kingdom of Rizia certainly has valuable expertise and resources in the energy sector. We will carefully consider their investment proposal and assess how it aligns with our long-term goals for Gasom. I appreciate you coming through, Gus. Getting Rizia interested in another investment is a major feat. We've got an amazing opportunity here. The demand for gas is steadily increasing from both international partners and the Swordfish state. What we'll have to do is to ensure a consistent supply. Trouble right now, some of our fields are operating at only half their capacity due to resource limitations. But we have significant potential for expansion, including 2 new fields that haven't yet been tapped. With the right amount of investment, we could expand resource extraction, effectively fulfill rising demand, and ensure long-term stability and profitability. There is the aforementioned interest in Rizia, but the investment could also come from Sordland itself. The fact that our leading privatizer is coming to the state, is coming to the state for bailless corporations is hysterical. What do we want to say? You know, if you're correct, any investment would make a returns and secure further gas. Indeed, this deal has potential to bolster both Gasom and Sordland. Together, we can create a historic opportunity. Why settle for being the top 10 energy exporters when we have the potential to compete with Arcadia and United Katana? Mr. Alphonso has neglected to mention that this is not an either-or proposal. Sordland can invest alongside Rizia. That's okay. Investing together with Rizia could be better than just letting them purchase as much as they can. According to the current state of the government budget, get that Riz, But I don't like. Isn't Rizia like a political rival? Because they're allied with Rumburg. But I guess maybe being together on something maybe would pull them out of Rumburg's sphere of influence because they have more to lose with us. I mean, it's an idea. Investing together with Rizia could be better than just letting them purchase as much as they can. Co-investing would reduce Sordland's contribution while allowing the nation to still have a stake in strategic purposes. If the treasury situation is a concern, this path could be the most optimal. The sound of sirens briefly distract us. Through the window, we saw police cars driving down the street adjacent to the Gasom zone. We redirected our attention to the meeting. Ewald looked at me. Mr. Rayne, the foundation for our robust partnership is right here. It's high time we shift our focus towards sealing this deal. If we raise a minority investment, it will allow us to invest in further resource excavations in the gas fields. We can turn the company back to significant profitability. By significant, I mean that our projections show that Gasom would be able to cover 80% of Sordland's gas needs in 3 years, and we would achieve profits 4 times the value of our investment. He's kind of hot. If you invest in Gasom, enticing proposition. I mean, there's got to be risk. That's true. You know what? If we are to invest, I want to make sure that the company also is committed to improving the socio-economic conditions in Narbel. I wholeheartedly agree. The well-being of Narbel citizens is a priority for Gasom. With this investment, we would certainly allocate some funds to improve the local infrastructure and create more jobs. Mr. President, I've been thinking, what if we tie Gasom's growth to Narbel's development? Get the company to invest in the community, you know? That way, everybody wins. Mr. President, your administration's focus on the planned economy resonates with our strategic vision for Gasom. The government's investment in our company aligns perfectly with this approach. It's about strengthening Sordland's economy and becoming self-sufficient in energy production. See, potential for Gasom to drive Sordland's energy independence. Kingdom Rizia investment would reduce costs for us, however we need to carefully consider with a foreign entity. I see potential for Gasom to drive Sordland's energy independence, but we need to make sure this is a sustainable solution. So Alphonso is a lobbyist for Rizia or something. Alphonso is the president of... He's the chairman of Gasom, and he is the former president. Rizia is just like a different country that might want to invest in this in his company. Is this game like Hoi 4 or what? It's like if let's say if like it was like the New Order, but there's absolutely like no military stuff in it. It's all story, baby, from here on out. You bring up a valid point. We're dedicated to responsible resource extraction and have allocated a portion of the proposed investment for environmental mitigation issues. Sustainability is a key part of our strategy. Couldn't agree more, Mr. President. We've got to keep a big picture in mind, and that includes our environment. I trust Ewald and his team will handle this responsibly. If the Sordland government chooses to invest, it would be gain a voice in a broader company decisions, even as a minority stakeholder. The government could either liquidate its shares at the future date or continue to reap the long-term profits. A beneficial arrangement for all parties. Ewald walked back over to the window. He stood there, silhouetted against the vast expanse of the gas fields. After a moment, he turned back to face us. His gaze was steady, his expectation clear in his eyes. The time had come to make a decision. Well, Mr. President, will Gasom and Sordland make history or not? Hell yeah, baby! In for a penny, in for a pound. We're investing alone. Sordland will provide the majority of the funds, and Gus will tell Rizia to back off. Your decision shows commitment to Sordland's energy independence. We won't let you down. That's a bold move, Mr. President, but I reckon it's the right one. Gasom's success will be in Sordland's success. The worried workers will have no fears about job security, thanks to the state intervention. Before we dive into celebration, I've allocated time to discuss this meeting for President Rayne to discuss any concerns regarding Gasom's treatment of his workers and its effects in Narbel. The labor union, along with the Communist Party of Sordland, have rallied substantial support from Gasom's workers in Narbel, advocating for improved local conditions. Alphonso nodded and looked at me. We need to address the concern they could jeopardize the administration. Our duty is to listen and take action. We need to address these concerns. Our duty to listen and take action. I mean, it could jeopardize the administration. I mean, it's already causing a lot of instability in the West. Together, we discover solutions beneficial to both parties. Do you have a proposal in mind, Mr. President? We can try to increase wages. Local charities is... Workers of Gasom need better housing, excellent healthcare, and opportunities for education. We can... I mean, like, this might be asking too much. Because I honestly don't know how much he can really do about healthcare. I mean, let's just go with a simple, the wages of Gasom blue-collar workers needs to be increased. They're the backbone of your operation. I fully agree that we must do more for our workers. Their welfare is a priority for Gasom. I will personally ensure that we review their salaries and work towards providing them with competitive compensation immediately. Promises are a start, Ewald. But the people need actions, not words. I look forward to seeing concrete changes. Ewald, your personal commitment to these initiatives speak volumes. This could be a turning point for Gasom and for Narbel. Well, Mr. President, we're committed to... Suddenly, the meeting was interrupted. The quiet murmur of the conversation from outside the room grew louder, followed by the sound of hurried footsteps. A member from our private security team entered the room, his face taut with urgency. He approached Alphonso and leaned in to whisper something into his ear. Ewald nodded solemnly, his gaze meeting mine with a serious intensity. Gentlemen, it seems that we have an unexpected situation outside. Some protesters from the labor union have blocked the main vehicular exits. Katrina Horton and Dennis Schaller seem to be leading the group. It would be difficult to leave the way we came without causing trouble. Well, that's a bickle. What's our move, Ewald? I have a helicopter ready. We could leave undetected and avoid the chaos and potential danger. I think we should face the crowd head on. That is your prerogative, Mr. President. Following the violent events of late, I highly recommend against facing any crowd. Mr. President, I advise you leave via helicopter just in case. I can stay back and update the crowd on the discussion today. Sergey walked in. Mr. President, I've discussed the situation with President Guard and police security. They are advising us not to go out the way that we came in. More police are on the way. You must make a decision. I'm going to speak to the crowd. You can't stop me. Everybody waited. Oh, I have to make it. What? I mean, I gotta know. I gotta know what happens next. Okay. Well, before we know what happens next, let's read some news. Bloodish Freedom Front under new leadership. Security forces have gathered intel regarding a hidden meeting among local leaders of the separatist group, the Bloodish Freedom Front, that has occurred a few days ago. It is expected that they have elected a new leader in the meeting, Ewald Alphonso, who is the brother of infamous former leader Delwyn Arge. This development could have serious implications for national security, as the BFF have been known to use violent means to achieve their goals. Okay, what's new in the economy? Large investment in Gasom. What's going on in the news? A resounding vote for Gasom's future. The Sordland government large-scale investment in Gasom signals a strong vote of confidence in the nation's energy sector. This decisive action reflects the administration's dedication to bolstering domestic industries and safeguarding energy sovereignty. With the global energy market facing instability and increased competition, such strategic investments are vital for ensuring Sordland's independence from foreign energy influences. Despite criticism from detractors, this financial injection could provide Gasom with the stability needed to secure its future. Our Grand National Assembly has demonstrated a resounding commitment to Sordland's economic independence. The proposed repeal of the Energy Protection Act of 1932, a cornerstone of national autonomy, was effectively defeated. Okay, what's going on in Sordland today? In an act of resolute governance, our authorities have poured significant resources into Gasom. This move increases assurances within our national energy sector and displays Sordland's dedication to industry fortification. Through boosting Gasom's operational prowess and fiscal stability, this robust investment ushers in a new dawn of prosperity for the citizens of Sordland. A pricey misstep. The government's large-scale investment in Gasom is ignited a wave of criticism. Detractors argue that throwing money at systemic issues plaguing the sector is far from a viable solution. This strategy, rather than addressing the roots of the problem, raises questions about the government's economic vision and the future of our energy industry. Okay. The Sordland government has made a substantial investment in the energy giant Gasom. The movement signals a clear vote of confidence in the domestic energy sector and has been greeted with approval by various market observers. Okay. Sounds good to me. So let us leave Gasom. We are going to address the protesters and leave via car. Okay, there's no new information, it's just on you. As we stepped out of the towering front gate of Gasom's facility, I immediately became aware of how tense the situation was. Gus Manager stood by my side, his silhouette barely distinguishable from the monolithic edifice behind him. Sergei stood to my left, his eyes scanning the crowd with precision of a hawk. The Gasom security had drawn their weapons in anticipation, forming a bristling wall around the perimeter. My presidential guard, in stark contrast, stood tall and unflinching at the entrance, shielding us from the sea of angry workers surrounding us. The shouts of the crowd were deafening, the hostility palpable. Stahler and Horton stood at the forefront with fire in their eyes. So, okay, you were the leader of the Communist Party, and you're the leader of the labor union. With a deep breath, I prepared to address them. Gus extended a megaphone towards me. Good people of Narbel. So you can understand our progress. We end up bridge the gap. To the hard-working employees of Gasom, we stand with you today. Our shared goal is simple: to demand improving living and working conditions for everyone. We're not blind to struggles. We're not blind to struggles. This is not a hollow promise, but a step towards a stronger and more balanced Sordland. Speeches and more speeches from President Rayne, but what exactly was decided today? We need more than pretty words, we need substance. She's right, Mr. President, we need details. What's going to change for the workers? Now hold on a moment. President Rayne is committed to bringing about real change. His action decisions demonstrate this clearly, even if it doesn't fit your narrative. Is that so, Manager? We've all seen our decisions that favor the likes of you and Ewald Alphonso, not the common workers. It's not about narratives, Mr. Manager. It's about ensuring a fair, dignified life for the working class, something your policies have consistently failed to do. Then it... Okay, wait, I can't even read number 4. I understand your skepticism, Dennis. But my administration is devoted to bringing better conditions. Interesting choices we got here. I don't want to say the first one. I don't think that's the right choice here. Do you think too? You know what? I'll go with you, Q-Fabus. Dennis, the focus here is not on narratives or images, but on real, tangible changes. It's a process. We're on the right track. Words, words, and more words, President Rayne. What the workers need are actions, not promises. Exactly, Dennis. The working class of Sordland is still waiting for those actions. It's clear from your lack of commitment to education that you don't fully comprehend the scope of challenges faced by your workers' families. Mr. President, we demand that you support the upcoming Workers'' Right Bill. The labor force of Sordland will be watching your next move closely. Furthermore, we want reform! Reduce the election threshold and change the Constitution to make a more democratic and fairer nation. So I think we have 3 choices. Oh, we have 4? How dare you think that way to your president? Fire! Shoot at them! Must recognize the country can't solve problems all at once. You send your concerns, frustrations. I understand the concern. Just say yes. I understand the concerns and frustrations many of you have. Rest assured, we are here, we are listening, and we are committed to addressing these issues. Despite the sharp words exchanged, the crowd remained eerily calm. It seemed like they were waiting. Their collective breath held in anticipation for something more. Suddenly, a reporter pushed through the crowd, brandishing a microphone towards me. The locals on Arbella have suffered under the impact of Gasom for years. What concrete steps is Gasom going to take for the benefit of the local community? After much deliberation, Gasom agreed to increase workers. I think we just go with 1. I think 1 just seems... Gasom has recognized the value of its blue-collar workers and has agreed to increase their wages. These hardworking individuals are the backbone of their operations and deserve fair compensation. So you can stop whining now. The wage increase is not a mere possibility, but a fact. This is an essential step towards ensuring well-being and prosperity for all workers, not just Gasoms. The air suddenly felt a little lighter. Murmurs of conversation started to proliferate through the crowd, signs of animosity dwindling. Eventually, all fell silent as they waited for Dennis and Katrina to respond. So, our blue-collar comrades are finally getting an attention they deserve, are they? I must admit, that was a step forward. But let's not forget, President Rayne, that this is only correcting a long-standing injustice. We will wait to see if these empty promises, or if you truly intend to uphold the rights of our working class. An increase in wages, finally. About time. While I appreciate this apparent commitment, let's not pat ourselves in the back just yet. Real success are measured in paychecks of the workers, not in the words spoken here today. A group of figures emerged from the crowd, adorned in unmistakable scarlet attire. The red youth has arrived. I realized that this was no longer a mere protest. It was a symbol of a broader, more potent struggle. The police began reorganizing their ranks, adopting defensive postures. Could you shed some light on the possible deal between the Swordish government and Gasom? What role does the King of Vizia play in this arrangement? Let's see. Invest in the Gasom. With all due respect to the kingdom, I believe Sordland knows what's best for Sordland citizens. Government Sordland has decided to invest solely to lead to the direct positive impact on the citizens. Yeah, I think this seems like an okay option. The government of Sordland has decided that to solely invest in Gasom. We believe that this will lead to a direct positive impact on the citizens of Sordland. A surprising, but potentially a promising decision, Mr. President. Let's hope your confidence isn't misplaced. encouraging President Rayne, as long as your government drive to recoup your investment doesn't take precedent over Gasom's struggling labor force. Nearby, a Gasom security officer and President's guard member were conversating in hushed tones. I saw them glance over the crowd, but now calmer, but still restless. President Rayne, while the crowd appears somewhat subdued, I would advise we exercise caution. It may be best to conclude your address and proceed to the vehicle. Are you sure? Will running away make this protest angrier? I'll remain here, Mr. President. The crowd seems calmer now, and I believe I can answer the queries and maintain the peace. You should go ahead. Mr. President, thank you for your willingness to address us. Let us move on to these important conversations moving forward. You've shown courage today. We'll see if your actions match your word. Until next time. We have shown courage together. Now you will hold you accountable to your promises. The troubles of labors are not over, and neither is the work of our union. I'll shake their hands. I'll shake their hands. I reached out my hand, and Katrina shook it with a smile. Dennis followed suit. Almost immediately, the remaining tension of the crowd dissipated. The few workers nearly broke into scattered applause. While initially hesitant, clapping grew louder, and jubilant cheers and whistles filled the air. I saw the Red Youth member standing on the edge of the crowd with her arms folded, a hint of approval in her eyes. As I readied myself to leave, I turned back to Katrina and Dennis one last time. Okay. Job is to listen to act. Most wouldn't come out just here. Most wouldn't come out here because of most fate. Most wouldn't come out because most fear facing the truth. That's where the conversation's always going on. I mean, that does seem. That's got like a little bit of aura to it. Oh, I gotta say multiple things. Let's remember that while we're here, same reason, better lives for citizens. Okay. Porter jumped in. Can you clarify the current status of your proposed relationship with Ewald? No more question, please. Mr. President, would you please proceed to the vehicle? Sergey opened the door of the car, and I lowered myself into the seat. The door closed behind me with a thud, sealing off the external noise. The crowd began to disperse, the individuals breaking away to let our convoy through. The guards took their position nonetheless, forming a human barrier around the vehicle. The engine purred to life, and we began to move. I'm glad we are safely on our way, Mr. President. Next time this happens, I'm going to get shot. Agreed, Sergey. A job well done by you and the team. We appreciate your acknowledgement, Mr. President. It is a duty and an honor. The echoing voice of the protesters gradually subsided as we retreated from the scene and left Narbel behind. So I think what we'll do is we'll read all of the news articles, and then we'll end off the stream for today. It's like 9 o'clock. I feel like it's a decent time here. So we'll read the news, and then we'll end off. Gasom's salary review, upholding workers' rights. Gasom's promises to review the salaries of blue-collar workers and provide them with competitive compensation is an acknowledgement of the critical role these workers play in the nation's economy. This step, long overdue, is an evidence to the fundamental principle of equal pay for equal work. It will go a long way in reducing income inequality and ensuring a more equitable distribution of the nation's wealth. In a show of attentive leadership, President Anton Rayne's address to the gates of Gasom was marked a clear understanding and acknowledgement of the workers' concerns. The president's speech, resonating with empathy and decisiveness, reinforced his commitment to improving the working conditions and lives of the people of Narbel. This display of a leader who listens serves to strengthen the bond between the president office and the people of Sordland. A beacon of hope. President Anton Rayne's recent address at the Gasom's gates in Narbel has been met with an overwhelming positive response from the crowd. The president's articulate delivery and compelling arguments serves to rekindle faith in the Swordage government, shedding a ray of hope on the current challenges plaguing our nation. His inspiring speech seemed to resonate with the working class, leaving an atmosphere of optimism and unity in its wake. In response to intense negotiations led by President Anton Rayne and driven by worker unions, Gasom has declared a review of blue-collar salaries. This represents an important progression in addressing the work... Look, it's been a long day, okay? and providing some financial relief for these workers. The revision will see a marked improvement in workers' welfare and morale, resulting in increased productivity for the energy giant. The eyes of Sordland now rest on Gasom's next steps. Gasom's decision to review the salaries of its blue-collar workers is indeed a significant victory. Let us not forget who truly brought about this change: the workers and their representatives. President Anton Rayne may have had a hand in the negotiations, but that victory belongs to those who toil day in and day out. They are the ones who have been risen against exploitation, setting a precedent for the steps for Sordland to follow. I don't believe there's anything else for us other than the stability order.